anchor yourself with things that brings you some peace, some calmness, some sense of, connection with yourself, reminding yourself the reason you're here is not just to work and grind and grind and grind. You don't need to take all that time or not spending all that money for a mindful transition. It can happen right here and now. Like everything literally around life starts from you personally. So if you're able to control yourself, you'll be able to control your world. Girl buddies, and welcome to a new episode of Bleana's Voice Podcast. Oh my god, guys, it's a new episode. Not just a new episode, guys, it's a new episode and a new season for me too, because guess what, my birthday was like a few days ago, and oh my god, the love, the wishes, the prayers, the gifts, it was immense. It's so loving, guys. Thank you all so much. Welcome to a new episode. Oh my god, if I should tell you the backstory behind this episode, you would want to cry for me. Right now, we're not going to get into that. We're going to get into the main scope of this episode. So anytime I come on the show, I'm always like looking for things that, resonate with myself and resonate with the public out there. So when I was creating this episode, I was like, how would I really break down the word momentum for everyone? Welcome, guys. My name is Bleana, and today we're talking about mindful momentum. I am your personal great buddy. Remember, we are all buddies on this podcast, on this podcasting community, on this platform. If you subscribe, you've become a growth buddy. And I'm so happy for all the subscribers, all the people you have shared this episode to. You have shared even this podcast in general, this channel in general. You've really supported my journey, my growth, my vision. I'm so happy for you. So right back into today's topic. It's about mindful momentum, right? So when I was preparing for this episode, I was like, how am I going to really break down momentum for my grown buddies? How am I going to make it not look like a whole big word? How am I going to make it look like something they can understand even more easily than I feel like I do? Okay, so I decided to bring a story from my childhood. So when I was growing up, my mom, they called me Blestic Momentum. So that means like I was a chubby person. I don't know if I'm still chubby. You guys tell me. Do I still look chubby? Am I still chubby? I don't really know. So my mom, they called me that, and she just really, emphasized on the fact I was really chubby, and I was looking all, I don't know. My sisters call it bullish. Strictly. So she loved that, fatness in me. So she did call me Blestic Momentum. Like I had so much vigor and was so vibrant. So she really loved that about me. That was when I was quite younger, right? So Blestic Momentum was my nickname when I was small. And growing up, I'm like, I don't really want to keep this, this figure. Like, I should check myself, because the more I'm growing, the more other places of my body is growing. So I didn't really need all of them to, grow all big and bulky. Like, I don't just like that figure for myself. So I decided to take my exercises more seriously. But linking that to this episode, right, mindful momentum. Sometimes we are really occupied and overwhelmed by the wish to be better, the wish to impress ourselves, the wish to live our dream life, the wish to be the best in the career, to be the best spouse, to be the best mom or sister, all of that. They're all good wishes, but it gets to some extent where you need to check the momentum. As somebody with me, you need to check the vibrancy of everything. You need to check the energy, you need to check your enthusiasm, so that you don't get burnt out, you don't get to choke with your life. You don't just get to a point where you just break down in the hospital bed and you start questioning yourself, like, what have I really been doing? And then when you get out of there, you don't want to touch your career, you don't just want to go back to your own house anymore. You just need a vacation, and that vacation is going to change your life, or even forever. Yeah. So how do we mindfully grow to the point where we are proud of ourselves and we are impressed with who we are, and we are really excited about our vibrancy and the energy we put into things and the effort we put into things that we want results from? How do we mindfully connect ourselves with our world no matter how busy it can be, how do we get in control of the wheels? How do we hold the walls when it looks like it's all closing in on us? And how do we walk this whole life, this adulthood life? I mean, the childhood. People think adulthood is more stressful than childhood. I tell you, whatever age you're in and you feel like you need to take it gently with yourself, please do. Because there are kids, like, there are children crashing out there, right? Because no one is listening to them. Everyone just says, oh, they're a child or they're a kid, or they're not even supposed to feel this way, or if they feel this way at a young age, well, they do when they're all grown. I've actually heard that before. People have told me that before. Like, if you're feeling this way right now, how about when you grow up? Like, that means your head is going to burst open or something. And I just like to get mute, like, at that person, not talk to that person about my feelings ever again, because it didn't matter. Okay, so there are children and there are adults and there are even elderly people who are retiring from life who really need to be mindful about their momentum, be mindful about the energy they put into stuffs and, you know, the whole vibrancy of their lives. So how do we get there? How do we achieve that mindfulness? How do we connect our body and soul and minds to what we're doing, and how do we unplug it out? Because it's one thing to connect yourself with the life you're living, and it's one thing to unplug yourself from some sections of your life and just to say, okay, this is the electricity that connects you and me together, so I'm just gonna take a break from you right for a little while. So how do we just get there? So that's what this episode is about, and I hope that it helps you and it helps people that you know are suffering from stress or anxiety or anything related to the negative side of being too busy in life. Here are simple actionable steps that I have put together to help you. First, it starts from your personal growth life. It starts from your personal life. Like, everything literally around life starts from you personally. So if you're able to control yourself, you'll be able to control your world. All right? So the first thing I want you all to know is this is very simple. The steps are really simple. The steps are really applicable, and you don't need to pay $1,000 to travel to get the peace of mind that you need. You don't need to hire a person in disguise, a masseuse, to come and, you know, give your body what it needs. But you just need to take these simple actionable steps for yourself. Firstly, in the midst of all the things you have to do in a day, when you're writing down your to-do list, or if you don't even have the time to write a to-do list and think that you want to do, or the things that your day is going to be about, I just want you to set on your phone some breaks. Like, set break time for yourself. Like, maybe after about 4 hours at your job, you go grab a snack, or go talk to your favorite colleague, or just pause and walk around the vicinity and just admire something or adore something or adore someone. You know, you can adore your wife or your sibling or your favorite celebrity. Just take your mind off that thing. It's called a mindful transition, where you're removing your mind from the place it has been for hours and placing it on something that it gets to pleasuring or relaxing. So it can be your favorite snack, or it can be a friend that you love so much, or it can just be anyone really that gives you that pleasure that you need, that peace of mind, that, you know, clarity. I remember when I was writing my novel, and there are some times that, you know, how writers can feel really overwhelmed to the characters and everything. So sometimes I just leave my bedroom and go somewhere else, like to my sister's room, or I just call my friend. I'll be like, girl, what's up? What's popping up? Like, what's happening in your area? Like, how's school? Or what's going on? Just me. Just throw me a story or something. Like, I just need to get out of my soul right now. I just like, okay, no problem. I mean, we stayed talking for an hour plus. Shout out to you, Whitney. You're the best for you. So we just stay on talking for long hours like that, and I just really get relieved, you know, and then I get some sense of fresh air. So taking mindful transitions like that can really help you in a whole long day or a long form of work that you're doing. Because, I mean, if you're not just writing a book, right? Or if you're on a project that spans for weeks and months, you can't wait to the end before you take a mindful transition. You can't wait to the end. That's why at the beginning of this episode, I talked about traveling or paying some amount of money to travel or see someone. Like, you don't need to take all that time or not spending all that money for a mindful transition. It can happen right here and now, depending on who is in your circle, depending on what you're surrounding yourself with. Like when I woke up this morning, I was really calm and quiet. I just spent so much time with myself, reading my favorite novel, and it just really got me to a place of readiness for the day. I was ready to take on this day. And with the crazy things that happened before recording this episode, I tell you, if I didn't have that, mindful transition at the beginning of the day, if I just woke up and just jacked up the day like that, I wouldn't be recording this. I'd probably be sitting down, probably be sitting and crying or doing whatever thing else. Do you get me? So your mindful transition doesn't have to be all grand or out of this world. It starts here and right now. You can have a mindful transition right now. So get your mind off something that has been for a long time, of its logical state, and place it in an emotional and a pleasurable state for some time. It doesn't have to span even up to an hour, just a few minutes. Okay? And I know you'll be on your way to your mindful momentum. The next, and I really love this one, is anchoring yourself in daily mindful practices. I mean, so many people are very far away from themselves. If you ask them why, they'll tell you there's no such thing as mindfulness as an adult. Most times we just place this adulthood on our minds and we let ourselves crash out with it. We let ourselves, run on the loop and fall off with it. I know you're an adult, I know you have responsibilities to do, but just setting out minutes of your day and to daily mindful practices wouldn't hurry. It's not going to change your status, not going to reduce the money in your bank account, and it's neither even going to shift the bills from whatever prices they are. So anchor yourself in daily practices. What do I mean? When you get back from your work, from your job or your stressful day, and you just need to unwind, just do so. You don't have anybody around you, that's fine. Your body, your mind just needs to let go of whatever was inside of it all day. Just get a journal it down, write it down. When you're done, talk to your Father in heaven, talk to Jesus, pray. Just take yourself out of that whole world that you're living in throughout the day. Not just journaling, not just praying. You can also admire the things around you, admire the nature. You don't have to live in the prettiest country or the prettiest city before you admire something about nature. Sometimes I just sit out and I look at the sky and how the clouds are moving, and I'm like, wow, that's beautiful. I look at the birds too. I feel the wind. I just close my eyes. I'm feeling the wind. I'm like, Lord, you created this wind and it has some direction. If it didn't have direction, I would have actually been swept down this chair. You get me? So anchor yourself in things that brings you some peace, some calmness, some sense of, connection with yourself, reminding yourself the reason you're here is not just to work and grind and grind and grind. You're also here to admire the world, to admire what God has made in His whole beautiful universe. So, connected to your daily mindful routine, I would like to bring in today's episode in the scripture. Firstly, when you are still, you remind yourself of who God is. And when you remind yourself of who God is, God reminds you of who you are. Okay, let's say you had some tasks to complete during the day and you were able to do them, you were able to get them all completed, get them all rightly done. So you come back and while journaling, while reminiscing or enjoying the creation of God, you just get connected to God, and at the end of the day, God is start reminding you of everything that He has placed in you, your potentials, your strengths, and before you know it, you're strong again. And before you know it, you're all refreshed. To say, "They that wait upon the Lord renew their strength." So before you know it, that stillness, that mindfulness connects you to God, and God would definitely connect you again to your future self to prepare you for your tomorrow, prepare you for your future, prepare you for a better way at handling that task or that event. Okay? So next, I'll be closing with this one because I don't really love my episodes to be so long. Celebrating micro wins and doing what people you care about, people who care about you. Okay, why do I really have to emphasize this? Doing it with people who care about you. it's not every person you go to celebrate you completed your first chapter with, because they're just gonna be like, who's gonna read the book, or where are you gonna sell it at, or how are you gonna get the money? Like, they just increase your anxiety levels instead of celebrating with you. So really just celebrate your micro wins, people who care about you, people who are really supportive of you, people who are concerned about your growth, concerned about your well-being. How do you know these people? Okay, it doesn't just come out of the blue. You're gonna hear your little side talks or side comments from time to time. I'll always emphasize my best friend, because girl has been with me through like decade. I want to say decades, but she has been with me a decade and some years. So when I started my podcast, she was like listening to every episode, even without telling me like, oh, I'm listening to this episode with you. She celebrates even the littlest thing I put, and at the end of the first year, my podcast was the only thing that she had been listening to on Spotify like throughout that year. Not like the only thing, I'd say like the major thing. Like my podcast was about 99% of what she listened to. So I don't know if she had no music she listened to. If I was the music, I really don't know. But she celebrates me like every single time. Whenever I post on my status, on my story, girls just like, oh, even though she doesn't have the time, she just reacts to the emoji. And that's really helpful. And then when I told her that I just published my first book, and she went all screaming or shouting, and I'm like, that's the energy I need. So celebrate your micro wins, celebrate your, I would just call them micro wins. Just celebrate the accomplishments or accomplished tasks that you have done. You don't need to complete a book before you celebrate with people. You just need to, celebrate the steps that you have done, celebrate the tasks that you have completed, celebrate like the little things that you have done. And that's really, really, really going to help your mind feel like, oh, I've done something, or I'm doing something. Do you get me? It's really going to give your body some form of commitment into doing better or looking forward for the better. So guys, that is how to have a mindful momentum. I hope these steps and these practices will really help you. I hope that it helps the both of us, me, you, and whoever else you invite to this podcast or to this channel. I really hope that it helps all of us, and it gives us, more momentum, and it gives us more energy for the future. I really hope that we don't burn out, we don't crash out in chasing our dreams. And when we have the big goal in our hand, when we have the golden goal in our hand, we are going to be really excited and happy and proud of ourselves, and our bodies and our minds are going to be in full, complete and whole states to enjoy everything that we have worked for. I love you all, and thank you for staying with me to this time. Please, if you have not subscribed or followed me, please do that. I beg you, please. Thank you so much, and see you on my next episode. Big love.